Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 473 of the True Crime All the Time Unsolved podcast. I'm Mike Ferguson, and with me, as always, is my partner in true crime, Mike Gibson. Gibby, how are you?
Hey, I'm stable.
All right. That was unenthusiastic, to say the least.
Yeah. Maybe the pain pills are wearing off. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what's going on with my body.
Yeah, be on the lookout for Thursday's video, because I'm pretty sure Gibby closed his eyes like 3 or 4 times. He's on a few different pain pills.
I am.
And it's hard telling what he may say during this episode.
It's a mystery. I'm sure most of it will have to be cut away.
Some of it will. It always does. Let's go ahead and give our Patreon shout-outs. We had Eric Plans.
What's going on, Eric?
Jessica L.
Hey, Jessica.
Remington.
Well, thanks, Rem.
Pam Simon.
What's going on, Simon?
Shelley Blass.
Hey, Bloss.
Brittany Albright.
Hey, you're Albright.
Cherie Chance.
Hey, Chance.
And last but not least, Michelle McDaniel.
What's going on, Michelle?
And then if we go back into the vault, this week we selected Annette Quisenberry.
Again, I'm positive, not positive. I'm sort of sure that there was a show on Nickelodeon called The Quisenberries based off the Rugrats or something like that.
Okay. All right. Sort of. I'm positive. No. I'm sort of sure. Basically means you have no idea at all.
Pretty much.
Yeah. All right. We have an episode out brand new right now on TCAT where we're talking about 19-year-old Matima Miller, whom millions of people knew by his TikTok name, Swavey. He was murdered in broad daylight in July 2021. With community support, police quickly identified his killer, who was linked to multiple gang-related crimes.
And an overall bad guy.
An absolute monster.
Really was.
He'll turn out to be. All right, buddy, are you ready to get into this episode of True Crime All the Time Unsolved?
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about the disappearance of Kevin Verville Jr. Days after his parents brought him home from the hospital, Kevin Verville Jr. was abducted by a woman who claimed to be part of an organization that assisted young families. Kevin was abducted over 40 years ago, but investigators believe that there's a real strong chance Kevin is alive and does not know he was abducted as a newborn. So, this is kind of a departure from many of the unsolved episodes that we do. A lot of times we're talking about young people, but not babies, right? He was not even a baby. He was a newborn, days old. And although this case happened over 40 years ago, that would mean he's only in his 40s. And would it be logical, Gibbs, to believe that if he's still alive and was cared for, he may have no idea who he really is and no idea that he was ever abducted?
Oh, absolutely, it's possible. But maybe, you hear stories of some people that have been abducted that at a very young age that things never felt right. Like they could tell something was missing in their life. And maybe, Kevin or whatever his name is today has always said, man, I just feel like there's something about me that's missing, or I just don't know what it is. And hopefully one day maybe he'll discover that he was kidnapped and his real parents are these people. And maybe he can reconnect with some of his real family.
But I'm telling you, if you found that out, and let's say you had a good life and you actually did love the people who took care of you, maybe the people who abducted you.
Yeah.
Man, what would that do to you mentally?
I think it'd be rough. I mean, we did a case not too long ago where a young woman was abducted from the hospital and her mom, her kidnapping mom raised her and she had a pretty good life with her.
Yeah. I do remember that case.
Yeah. But then, once she realized what happened, everything blew up.
Yeah. So Kevin Art Verville Jr. was born on June 14th, 1980 at Camp Pendleton in California. His parents were 21-year-old Kevin Verville Sr. and 22-year-old Angelina Verville. Kevin and Angelina met when Kevin was stationed in the Philippines with the Marines. They got married shortly after they met in 1978. In 1979, Kevin Sr. was transferred to Camp Pendleton. He recalled that this was a happy time in their life. Now, there's a few things that I've learned over the years, right? Many things. One of them is that I don't think I would ever make it through Marine boot camp. I would never make it through the Navy SEAL program. I've seen the movies. I've seen what they go through. I know with all my heart, I'm not strong enough. I have a lot of admiration for those people.
I think I would have back in the day.
I don't know that you could have worn your singlet during the basic training, but yeah, you were a strapping young man.
I just think, the SEALs, that's another story, but I think I could have made it through the other programs.
Oh, see, now you're going to have a bunch of Marines emailing in.
No. I mean, Marines, that's a tough one to get through. And if you get through that, you can bump up and go to SEAL training. I think I could have tried SEAL training. Would I have made it through? I don't know. Man, I mean, you're in like being hosed down with cold water, and then
I think that's the least of the hard part. That's the least hard part about the whole thing. My issue is, number one, I don't like to be told what to do. So that's a real tough one.
Any training at that point then,
Number two, I don't like to be told when to get up.
Yeah.
So those are two big factors really going against me doing well there.
It's also the basics of basic training, right?
That's like the two basic things.
We're going to tell you what you're going to do. We're going to tell you when you're going to get up. We're going to tell you when to go to bed.
And eat and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
Kevin was born with jaundice, so he had to spend a week in the hospital. Eventually, Kevin Sr. and Angelina brought him to their residence at the Sterling Homes apartment complex in Oceanside, California, which served as off-base housing for military families stationed at Camp Pendleton. On June 30th, 1980, Kevin Sr. and Angelina received a visit from a stranger. A woman knocked on their door and identified herself as Sheila. She said she was from an organization called HELP, whose mission was to assist young, low-income military families. She told them she could help with diapers, formula, and financial assistance. This seemed like a really good opportunity for the family. Sheila agreed to come back soon and said she would take them to the HELP offices to enroll their baby in the program.
Well, sounds like an awesome program.
Well, let's be honest. Some of these military families, it's not like they're making a ton of money, especially when they first start out.
Right.
And so for some, and everybody knows what it's like to have a newborn. Diapers, formula, if you're going that route, everything's expensive. So for someone to come along and say, hey, I'm here to help you with the financial part of having the baby, I'm with you, man. That seems like it would be an amazing thing to have happen.
Yeah.
Sheila was described as a white woman in her early 20s with shoulder-length, frizzy or curly red or blonde hair. She was estimated to be 5'1", 5'2", and weighed between 120 and 130 pounds. She also appeared to be 4 or 5 months pregnant. Sheila wore glasses and had a tattoo on her left hand. In the area between her index finger and thumb, the tattoo was described as a circle with an X inside.
It's like tic-tac-toe.
One X with a circle?
Yeah.
Don't you need 3 in a row?
Well, if you're going to be critical about it.
Authorities believe that Sheila's hair, glasses, and even the pregnancy could have been a disguise. It's also possible Sheila was not the woman's real name.
Well, I
know.
It's kind of like, yeah. I kind of doubt it too.
No, I'm with you. I almost laughed at that as well because I thought that's probably the most obvious reporting I've ever heard.
Yeah.
It's also possible Sheila was not her real name. If you're going to perpetrate this ruse that we know ends with this woman taking away Kevin Jr., are you going to give the couple your real name? No. So not wrong, just super, super obvious, right?
Yeah,
in the reporting. According to the North County Times, on July 1st, 1980, Sheila called the couple and said she would send someone to pick them up, to go to the office to register for the program. And we said, right, this sounds like it would be an amazing opportunity. It does sound, at least on the surface, to be fairly legit. You know, I'm here from this office. I'm here to help. I'm going to send someone to pick you up, to bring you to the office to register.
I mean, at this point, you're thinking this is good.
Yeah, I mean,
save some money, getting some help.
I guess my question is, is there anything so far that would cause like major alarm bells to be going off in your mind? Because I'm not really seeing anything.
Not at this point, because I mean, one, you're thinking she sounds trustworthy. She's trying to save us money. She's pregnant too, so she relates. That's the other thing, right? I think maybe if that was a costume or not, I mean, I think it helps sell trustworthiness.
I think so. And if it is a costume, I'm sure that's exactly why she picked that. Sheila returned to the apartment that day. Kevin Sr. had just gotten home from the grocery store and was putting away the groceries. They agreed that Angelina and baby Kevin would go with Sheila to the office. Angelina and the baby got into Sheila's car, a gray or silver four-door sedan. Sheila said they needed to stop and pick up another mother who was also going to enroll her child in the program. Sheila drove Angelina and baby Kevin to a remote rural area in North San Diego County. According to a 1980 report by the North County Times, she drove to a spot near Guajome Regional Park and pulled into the driveway in a house on Guajome Lake Road. Sheila asked Angelina to knock on the door to get the other mother they needed to pick up. When Angelina got out, Sheila sped away with baby Kevin still inside the car. Angelina was left stranded on the side of the road. She began walking back to Oceanside, and a motorist picked her up and took her to the police station.
But thinking at that moment, you know, you step out of the car, you're walking up to the house, you're feeling happy, right? You probably had some good conversation on the way over there, and you're thinking, you know, this is going to be great. Man, we need help with diapers, formula, whatever. And maybe I'm going to meet a new friend with this other mom needing help too. And then you hear the car speed away. I mean, you got to be like, this is a nightmare. This can't really be happening.
Well, and it seems like it would go from excitement over this program to absolute, horror that this woman has just stolen my baby.
Yeah.
Also, I'm stuck. Yeah. I got no car and I got no way to get anywhere.
Helplessness.
According to her daughter, Angelica, Angelina was in shock after Sheila drove off. Angelica told people she couldn't talk, even when a man in a truck stopped to pick her up and bring her to the police station. And I get it. I don't know how much more shocking something would be than to have someone who you think is helping you out, a woman, a pregnant woman, literally speed off with your baby.
We all at some point have misplaced our kids. I know I did, where we're out, we're shopping, they're with me, they're little, and I turned back and one of them was gone. And my heart just sunk. My stomach was in knots. I mean, luckily I found my daughter pretty quick, but I can't imagine what that would feel like. It'd be 10, 100 times worse seeing your kid speed away that you have no control over. You can't reach out and pull them back in.
Yeah, well, the first feeling is pretty bad.
Yeah.
Because it's happened to me too. Kids are quick. They can get away from you very quickly. But I'm with you. I think this is 100 times worse. Because in the first scenario, you're scared, but you have a relatively good feeling that they're just around the corner or they're in another aisle. You just got to go find them.
Right.
In this scenario, that's not the case. This woman is taken off. And now you're wondering, is that her real name? I don't really know who this woman is. Is this help organization even real? How am I going to be able to find her and find my baby? Authorities immediately began searching and canvassing the area. Law enforcement and news media in San Diego County were notified, and a nationwide APB was issued in hopes of finding similar crimes in other areas. On July 3rd, San Diego County Sheriff's Office announced that the FBI volunteered to assist in the investigation. And one of the things that jumped out at me about that is that, okay, they're looking for similar crimes in other areas. All right, I get that, but this seems more like a one-off scenario than it does a woman traveling around and abducting a number of children.
Yeah.
This seems like this is a woman who was looking for a baby, and once she got a baby, that was it. She wasn't going to be going out and abducting others.
Yeah. Maybe she was looking for a specific type of baby.
Maybe. You know, folks, it's summertime, and that means a couple of things to me. First of all, I don't think seem a little more relaxed in the summer, but it's also warmer. So I find myself reaching for comfortable pieces of clothing. And that's why I keep coming back to Quince. You know, Quince focuses on well-made essentials that will really become your staples that you go back to again and again. Quince's 100% European linen pants and shirts are breathable, easy to throw on, and the summer upgrade your rotation needs, starting at just $34. And their tees are soft enough to wear day in and day out. Everything at Quince is priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. They can do this because they work directly with ethical factories and cut out the middlemen, so you're paying for exceptional quality, not brand markup. And I'll tell you, one of the pieces that I grab almost on a daily basis is their activewear flow knit shorts. They're soft, they're breathable. I can wear them anywhere. And it's not just clothing. Quince has become a trusted favorite for everything from home to travel to everyday essentials. Make your summer wardrobe easier. Go to quince.com/truecrime for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. That's QUINCE.com/truecrime for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/truecrime. You know, folks, my wife has experienced teeth clenching and grinding ever since I've known her. And we've been married for over 30 years. And she now trusts Remy to protect her teeth using their custom night guard, along with over 350,000 Americans. Remy night guards are the only FDA cleared and clinically tested at home impression kit night guards on the market. Not only do they help prevent teeth damage from grinding, they also help reduce jaw tension and facial muscle strain and improve your sleep quality. You'll get the same professional quality and comfort as a night guard from a dentist for 80% less of the cost by taking your own impressions from the convenience of your home. And my wife's experience was really good with Remy. You know, the impression kit was delivered, there's step-by-step instructions, and then you ship the impressions back so that they can deliver your night guard and you can start protecting your teeth. Protect your teeth with Remy by using code TCATU to get 50% off your new night guard with Remy Club Subscribe and Save. That's 50% off at shopremi.com/TCATTU with code TCATTU. Thank you, Remy, for sponsoring this episode. You know, starting a new business is challenging. And Gibby and I had so many questions when we started this podcast. Most of them we just had to answer for ourselves. See what worked, see what didn't. But one decision we never regretted was going with Shopify for our podcast merch. They've made that part so incredibly easy. Shopify has powerful AI tools to help you build your storefront. They can also help with social media campaigns. They'll help you get the word out. Like, you have this huge marketing team behind you. All you need is the idea. Shopify handles the rest. If you're serious about hearing your first, start your free trial at shopify.com/unsolved today. You heard that right. Start your free trial today at shopify.com/unsolved. That's shopify.com/unsolved. Investigators soon learned that the woman who called herself Sheila spent several days in the Sterling Homes apartment complex leading up to baby Kevin's abduction. She spoke to dozens of residents. Investigators suspect she was baby shopping or trying to find a baby with the characteristics she was looking for. She asked if there were any babies 6 months or younger in the apartment complex and seemed to be seeking out a male baby who was half white and half Filipino. Baby Kevin fit this description. Sheila talked about going to the Philippines and potentially even spoke the language, which is also very scary.
Sure.
Scary enough that she would be in the same state still, and it would be hard to find her. How much harder would it be to find her if she has taken the baby to the Philippines?
Yeah, now you have an international kidnapping, right? It's going to make it more difficult to find your missing child.
But the other thing is, I mean, look at all that went into this ruse, right? She had to come up with the name of an agency that was, going to help. She had to explain all the benefits, all they were going to do for the family.
Yeah.
But then she also spent a lot of time looking for the right baby. This wasn't a spur of the moment thing.
Oh, no. I mean, there's definitely planning involved leading up to, and there had to be planning afterwards as well.
Or ahead for what was to come after, and maybe both. The residents who interacted with Sheila worked with investigators to develop a composite sketch. Detective Sergeant Bill Baxter told the North County Times in 1980, it appears to be a very calculated attempt to get a baby. The person knew enough details about military life to ask people in the area if they knew anybody with a rating up to E5 who had a baby in the last 2 months. On July 5th, Kevin's parents issued a public appeal to the kidnapper asking them to bring their baby back. Kevin Sr. said that although Angelina was experiencing extreme emotional trauma, the FBI's speculation that the kidnapper wanted the baby of her own gave them hope that Kevin would be taken care of. Angelina was hospitalized 3 times after the kidnapping.
I'm surprised it was only 3 times.
Yeah, I mean, he said extreme emotional trauma, and it had to have been. I can't imagine going through something like that.
I would think some people just would never recover from it.
And if they did, it wouldn't be a quick recovery. And I'm not even sure recovery is the right word.
Right.
I don't know that you ever recover from it. Do you learn to live your life? Possibly, yes. But it's going to be altered. It's going to be changed. And there's probably not going to be a day that goes by that you don't think about what happened and you don't think about what, baby Kevin is doing right now.
Oh,
whether
sure.
That's age 1, 5, 20, 40. By this time, federal and county law enforcement had followed up on dozens of sightings of the suspect. Most of the leads came from northern San Diego County. One tip, though, came from as far away as Phoenix.
I mean, you take any tip and try to follow up on.
You will, but man, when they're coming from all over and pretty far away, that's going to eat up quite a bit of time to check some of those out.
Yeah, it's going to cut into your resources.
The FBI also located the residence where Angelina was left on the side of the road. Kevin and Angelina had gone to this area before to buy fruit from local fruit stands. The FBI spoke to residents in the area, but no one had any connection with the suspect.
I think it was probably just a random spot they chose to get her far enough away from getting any help right away.
Yeah. Ran it like a remote spot. Here's a house. Now I do the ruse, right? This is where the lady lives. Why don't you go ahead and get out, knock on the door?
Yeah.
But again, I hate to say it, but pretty smart, obviously planned out.
Yeah.
That month, FBI agents released a psychological profile of the suspect. According to the profile, the woman may have lost a male baby within 2 months of the abduction, or the child may have been removed from her care by government agencies. She may have been depressed or suicidal and possibly faking the pregnancy. She was likely living alone.
I should, at this point, as long as we've been doing these podcasts, to say, all right, before you say what they're going to say,
As far as the profile, you give it a shot.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure it's going to align 99% of the time.
Yeah. I mean, I know they are somewhat generic, I think, and maybe generic's not the right word. They are, in my opinion, often common sense driven.
Yeah. Common sensible.
Yeah. That's not a word, but that's what I wanted to say.
It's the word I use.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Especially, when they're talking about males, right? 20 to 30, white male.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Possibly lives alone or, whatever it is. It's normally the same thing. And I'm not putting down FBI profilers. What they do is amazing.
No, I mean, it's a good profile. It's just, I think at this point, it's so common senseable that we all kind of zone in on that.
At a press conference at the Balderrama Community Center, Connie Torona, vice president of the North County Filipino American Cultural Association, urged the kidnapper to return Kevin Jr. and offered to act as an intermediary. She pleaded for the woman to take Kevin to a hospital or church or to call her to arrange his safe return to his parents. She said in an open letter to the kidnapper, "We're concerned for your welfare as well. As for the welfare of Kevin and his parents, we believe you to be a caring person, one who put much thought into borrowing Kevin, and we also believe you have a great need and perhaps have suffered a painful loss, which you hope to alleviate with Kevin."
I mean, I think a pretty decent letter there, right? Using the term borrowing, not kidnapping or stealing, right?
Yeah. And really playing up the fact that, we understand that you probably went through something traumatic. I think it's really smart to approach it in this manner to try to get the person to buy into, okay, well, maybe if I just drop Kevin off, everything will be okay.
Yeah. It seems like these people might care about me too and what I've went through, losing my child or me never having a child or whatever the reason was that she chose to take Kevin.
The FBI had failed to uncover any solid leads by mid-July, but one official told the North County Times he believed the kidnapper and baby may still be in northern San Diego County.
I think with a newborn, it's kind of a risk remaining too close to the scene of the crime because people are going to see a newborn easier, right? They're going to pick up on that versus, a 10, 11-year-old walking around.
Right. Yeah, I agree with you. But I also, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, okay, this is 1980. So how different would it have been back then versus today? There was no social media.
Right.
So you're not getting the word out quickly that way. Now, it sounds like it got press, newspaper, maybe television media. But even then, it wasn't, the same 24-hour news that we have today. Also, no Amber Alerts in 1980, I'm thinking. Those came along later.
Right.
And so more challenges in 1980 than I think would exist today.
For sure. Yeah. You might not have heard about this kidnapping until maybe that in the evening news that night, or maybe the next morning in the paper, or maybe not even till the weekend.
Right. And let's not forget, no surveillance video as we know it today.
Right.
To track this woman's movements or even get a clear picture of what she really looked like.
Yeah, today you might have some, Ring cameras or whatever camera on people's houses and doors and things like that.
In late July, FBI agents announced they were seeking 3 people for questioning in connection with Kevin's kidnapping. An agent spoke to the Blade Tribune and said, "They're just some people that we want to talk with. Every time a lead comes down the pike, we treat it like this is it. One day we're going to get lucky."
Yeah, one day could happen, right? You could get the information. Something could be told to you. You could pick up on something that you didn't know before that could open that door that you need to get open.
But only if you're following up on leads.
You got to follow up on them.
A month after Kevin was abducted, an FBI agent said they didn't have any identified suspects. He said, we've had 3 or 4 leads that I would have bet my paycheck on, but they didn't pan out. You got to be careful betting your paycheck.
Yeah. Don't bet that paycheck.
But I feel like this is probably often the case, right? Whether it's the FBI or any other, investigative group, they get leads that they're probably so sure about, and then they just don't pan out. And that's got to be very frustrating when you think you're on it and it turns out you're not.
And I was wondering, how good were these leads, 3 or 4 leads that they were willing to bet their paycheck on? I wonder what made them sound so good.
Yeah, we don't know because we don't have all the information. Maybe it's just that there was so much information. Maybe they had a couple of people call in to corroborate each other. There's a couple of different reasons why a lead could be more promising than another. The agent added, we've considered baby theft rings and have been cross-checking people who have been arrested for that all over the United States. We haven't had a tumble on something like this before. It's the first kidnapping where we've not had a ransom demand. It's the first out and out theft in all the kidnappings in the San Diego area in at least 15 years.
Which tells me that the theft was for personal gain.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't get a ransom note or a ransom call, what are you left to think? That this person wanted the baby for themselves and they're going to raise them.
Yeah.
By New Year's Day, 1981, Kevin's case was the longest unsolved case in northern San Diego County. And I got to be honest, I was surprised by that because it's not even been 2 years.
Yeah.
But that just shows you that they didn't have a lot of unsolved cases that went very long in northern San Diego County. Kevin Sr. spoke to the Blade Tribune and said, we've gotten pretty much back into the daily routine. I don't think there's a day that goes by that we don't talk about him. And at Christmas, there was a sort of empty feeling, but some friends came over and that helped. He noted that Angelina was doing better and they didn't avoid talking about their son. When they saw an infant in public, they would stop to ask the parents how old the baby was because they wondered if Kevin had grown to that size.
That'd be rough.
Your heart just breaks for this couple. They still, though, had hope Kevin would be found. And they had occasional contact with the FBI. They had recently been told an agent was investigating a baby found in the South, but that turned out to be a dead end. 1 year later, an FBI spokesman said there were no new promising leads, but they were confident the case would be solved eventually. And I don't know what else investigators can say. You can't come out and say, oh, this is hopeless. We're never going to solve this case. Right? You have to stay positive.
Sure you do.
Investigators always think they're like one step away from solving the case because a lot of times they are, right? They just need that one break. They need that one clue, that one tip. And to me, staying positive is a big part of it. And I think you also have to for the family. By this time, the Verville family had been transferred out of state. According to a 2025 article by People, Angelina cried for months and turned inward after Kevin's abduction. Kevin Sr. told People he blamed himself, saying, as a father, I feel like I failed to protect my family. And that one I understand.
Sure, yeah.
You and I are both fathers. You have this sense of you're the protector. I used to get upset when one of the girls got hurt because I couldn't stop that. Now, you're not going to be able to stop all the boo-boos and all of that, but it doesn't stop you from feeling like you failed.
Right.
And that's just on a micro level. This is a macro level, so I can only imagine what he's feeling.
Oh, yeah. And I'm sure he thinks about that day, Should he have went with them instead of saying, no, you go ahead and take the baby and you go with her? I'm sure he regrets that. Like, if I was there, maybe I could have stopped it from happening.
Or maybe she wouldn't have gone through with it.
Exactly.
If he was in the car. But, these cases, there's always some of that. There's the what ifs. What if one person had done this or another person had done that? Most of us have anxiety, depression at times, but if yours becomes more than just a rough patch, you might need more than talk therapy or self-help tools. Talkiatry connects you with real psychiatric care so you can actually understand what's going on and get a treatment and medication plan that works. Talkiatry is a 100% online psychiatry practice that provides comprehensive evaluations, diagnoses, and ongoing medication management for conditions like ADHD, anxiety, depression, bipolar disorder, OCD, PTSD, insomnia, and more. Unlike therapy-only platforms, Talkiatry is psychiatry. You're seeing a medical provider who can diagnose mental health conditions and prescribe medication when it's appropriate. More than 300,000 patients have already found high-quality psychiatric care through Talkiatry. And getting started takes just a few minutes. All you have to do is complete a short online assessment and get matched with clinicians who fit your needs and schedule your first visit in days, not months. Head to talkiatry.com/unsolved to complete the short assessment and get matched with an in-network psychiatrist in just a few minutes. That's talkiatry.com/unsolved to get matched in minutes. This episode is sponsored by Ro. Everybody knows about GLP-1s and some of the amazing results that people are getting from them, but they also come with some pretty hefty price tags. Ro is changing that by helping eligible patients access FDA-approved GLP-1 options at the lowest cost available to them, whether through insurance or lower-cost cash pay options. So don't write off GLP-1s just because you assume they're going to be too expensive, you won't qualify, or insurance won't cover it. Ro makes it easy to check what's available so eligible patients can find a path that actually fits their budget. Join the over 1,500,000 people who have trusted Ro on their weight loss journey. Now, I already take a weekly shot for my diabetes, but if I didn't, I would definitely go with Ro. They make it incredibly easy. Go to ro.co/unsolved to see if you qualify. That's ro.co/unsolved to get started on Ro. Go to ro.co/safety for boxed warning and full safety information about GLP-1 medications. One of the things that I really struggle with is finding a good gift for certain people in my life. Some people are easy to find a gift for, but others, it feels like they have everything. And you got to go out of the box sometimes. And a great place for me to do that is Zazzle. Zazzle is a custom marketplace where you can take basically any product, such as a mug, a tote bag, a card, phone case, and make it mean something. So you're not really buying a gift, you're making one. Browse millions of designs or start from scratch and build something completely your own. Either way, you're the designer. And everything is made on demand, so there's no out of stock. You pick it, customize it, and you're done. Over 30 million customers have trusted Zazzle with their most important gifts. Yours is next. I recently made my wife a mug with our two little Malteses on it. She loves it. And how would I have just gotten that at any old store? I couldn't. Zazzle helped me make it. Right now, save 25% on your first order at Zazzle.com. That's 25% savings on your first order at Zazzle.com. Go make something amazing. Zazzle.com. Tensions over Kevin Jr.'s fate led to arguments, especially when Angelina worried their baby was no longer alive. According to Kevin Sr., that would anger me. I always thought we'd find him.
Yeah, I can see getting upset about that. Like, why would you even say that? Why are you even thinking like that?
Kevin and Angelina divorced in 1981, but they remarried each other and had two more children, Art and Angelica. Kevin Sr. recalled that he wouldn't let the kids go anywhere alone because he worried they would be taken too. He explained, it's a nervousness that never goes away. The couple divorced again in 1991, then remarried for a second time before divorcing for good in 1996.
I just wondered how much the kidnapping of Kevin Jr. played in their relationship really not working out after that.
I think I'm sure it played a huge role. Not to say that they would have been married happily ever after if it hadn't have happened, but it couldn't have been good for the marriage, right? And there's no way. But I want to talk about, because we have seen this in other cases where people have children after they lose one to something like an abduction, and pretty much all of them say the same thing. They don't want to let those kids out of their sight because they're so fearful that it's going to happen again.
Yeah. When you got helicopter parents, I would say these are going to be even more than that.
But how can you really blame them?
Well, you can't.
Look at what they've gone through.
Yeah.
Angelica Ramsey became the full-time caregiver for Angelina, who has suffered 2 strokes and can no longer speak. Before she lost the ability to communicate, Angelina openly shared details of the abduction. Angelica told people that growing up, she watched true crime shows featuring cold cases, and she wondered why her brother's case wasn't in any of those shows. In 2020, she contacted the FBI about Kevin's case, and they directed her to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. After working with NCMEC, Angelica says the family has a new hope. They can finally find Kevin, who is loved and missed by so many. And the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, they do amazing work, Gibbs, and they have for a long time. And they're actually the reason why we're covering this case. They reached out to us via email and asked us to do it. And I go back to what Angelica said. You know, she grew up watching true crime shows. I grew up watching true crime shows. It's one of the main reasons why I wanted to start podcasting true crime. But she's watching them looking for her brother's case to be covered.
Yeah.
And she's wondering why it's not.
Why haven't they covered his story yet? And that's got to be difficult, right? Because week after week, you're seeing a story on this person or this child, but you're just like, wait, why haven't they done Kevin Jr. yet?
On June 10th, 2025, just before what would be Kevin's 45th birthday, the NCMEC held a press conference about the case. They also released a new age progression image showing what Kevin Jr. might look like now in his 40s. And I would urge everyone to go out to their website, take a look at the age progress photo. Because what are we trying to do here, Gibbs? I mean, our goal has always been to tell stories, to entertain to some degree, to maybe make people think a little bit about their safety.
Right.
But when it comes to unsolved, the main goal is to try to get these cases solved.
Right.
Now, we're not going to do it by ourselves.
No.
But is it possible that one time somebody is going to hear a detail that we talk about and it's going to click?
Yeah. I mean, maybe somebody listening to this will go out to the site and look at the age progressed photo and they'll be like, well, heck, that looks kind of like me, or that kind of looks like my buddy at work, or that looks like my dad or my husband. And that can open up some conversations that may or may not lead somewhere, but at least opens up the conversations.
Which is what we need, right? FBI acting special agent in charge of the San Diego field office, Houghton Mushrefi, spoke during the conference, emphasizing the FBI's commitment to the case and reuniting Kevin with his family. He said the FBI is looking into DNA to help identify Kevin. He noted that they submitted DNA recently to find similar matches. And you would think, Gibbs, that outside of somebody recognizing the photo as maybe someone they know, DNA is going to be the most viable option.
Right.
Now, obviously, they don't have his DNA, right? I'm assuming they're submitting family DNA and looking for matches that are similar, and they may need to go the genetic genealogy route, maybe
right.
something like that. But even that's going to be tough here because he's technically not part of the family tree right at this point. He's part of somebody else's family tree whose DNA is not going to be related to his at all. But it's not impossible that his DNA could be in a system somewhere and be similar enough to be matched to someone in his family. I'm assuming that's what they're hoping for.
Yeah, I believe that.
Angelica also spoke at the press conference and recounted the day her mother told her what happened to Kevin Jr. She said she was so animated, and in tears, Kevin Verville Sr. expressed his gratitude for the work being put into the case and talked about how the kidnapping changed their family. He said, "We had too much trust in people at the time. We lost a lot of our trust for people in general after that. It changed our lives. It changed the way we think. It changed the way we talk. It changed the way we do everything." And I don't think there's any doubt about it. This one incident changed their entire lives.
Yeah.
In some form or fashion, every part of their lives. Angeline Hartman, Director of Communications for the NCMEC, told Dateline in late June 2025, "We believe that he's out there and he has no idea who he is. He was abducted at 17 days old. The woman who took him likely took him to raise him as her own child. And so now here you have this 45-year-old man walking around on this earth thinking his life is one thing, and his biological parents have been looking for him all these years, and now it's getting fresh eyes because of this age progression."
Yeah. I still think, man, if and when he finds out, those emotions that you're going to have inside, especially like you said, if you had a good life. Now, if you had a shitty life, you're like, that explains it.
Yeah.
But if you had a good life, it's going to just be so difficult to deal with. But I think you're going to want to deal with it.
Well, I think you're going to have to. I don't think you're going to have a choice if it comes out. But to your point, if you had a good life with this woman who you believed was your mother, and maybe she got married, maybe there's a father, I don't know what the scenario is going to be when it comes out, if it comes out. But what are the emotions going to be towards this woman who you may love as a mother, but you find out that she stole you from your real parents? Special Agent Mashrefi also told Dateline, Kevin Verville Jr. could be anywhere. We're a connected world today, much more than we were 45 years ago. We have the power of social media. We have the capability of you folks to push this information out to the communities so that anyone who could potentially recognize Kevin or the perpetrator who took Kevin from his family can contact us and assist us in solving this case. In 2026, the NCMEC received the award of distinction for Best Overall Video, the top honor in Reagan's 2025 Video, Visual and Virtual Awards. Their video, stolen at 17 days, Can a New Image Help Find Kevin Verville Jr., brought renewed attention to the case and generated new tips for investigators to pursue. As of 2026, no one has been named, arrested, or charged with the disappearance of Kevin Verville Jr. NCMEC Director of Communications Angelina Hartman is quoted as saying in the NCMEC blog post, "It's very possible that Kevin Art Verville Jr. is out there alive with no idea about his real identity, and we need your help to bring him home. It's likely Kevin Jr. doesn't know what happened to him and that his biological parents are still searching for him. Today, he could be anywhere. So we're asking everyone to be part of this search." And Angeline is actually the person who reached out to us,
right,
with the request of covering this case.
I think it's important for everybody to go out and look at that photo because you just don't know.
Yeah, and it's easy to say, well, I don't live in California, but we don't know if he's still in California.
Exactly. He could be your neighbor. Just look at the photo. It takes, 10 seconds?
Not to mention that we have a lot of listeners outside of the U.S.
Yeah.
And we talked about it earlier, but Kevin was abducted by a white female in her early 20s at the time of the abduction. She appeared to possibly be pregnant and had red or blonde hair and was wearing glasses. She used the name Sheila, but there's no reason for me, at least, to believe that that's her real name. I think one of the important parts was the identifier of this tattoo on her left hand between her index finger and thumb. It's described as a circle tattoo with an X inside. To me, unless she went to great lengths to get rid of that, that's a really good identifier.
Yeah.
Because even 40 some years later, although it might fade a little bit, that tattoo is probably going to still be there.
It'll still be there, yeah.
The FBI is continuing to honor a $10,000 reward for information that leads to locating Kevin Verville Jr., as well as the arrest and conviction of those responsible for his abduction. And definitely go out, right? View that age progress image of Kevin Jr. on the NCMEC website to see what he might look like today. And also, you can read more about his case on the website. Also, if you have any information on Kevin Jr., his abduction, or the unknown female suspect, please call the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at 1-800-THE-LOST or the FBI at 1-800-225-5324 or visit tips.fbi.gov. So Gibbs, as we wrap this one up, it's a heartbreaker for sure. You think about what Kevin Sr. and Angelina went through. Like I said, I think it changed their lives. It changed the trajectory of their lives in so many different ways.
Yeah.
Now, they did go on to have 2 more children, which is awesome.
It is.
But I know for a fact there hasn't been a day that's gone by for them where they have not thought about Kevin Jr. And they deserve to know.
Absolutely.
Where he is, whether he's alive, maybe they can get reunited. I will say this. I do believe this is going to be solved. There's a lot of people putting this out, including us. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children is pushing the information out. They've got this age progressed photo. I do feel like we're going to hear some news on this one, maybe by the end of the year.
I hope so. I really do.
Yeah, I have high hopes. Now, again, I have no idea what Kevin Jr.'s mindset is going to be if and when he finds out that he was abducted at 17 days old.
Yeah.
And that his life in a large way has been a lie.
Maybe if you're the woman that kidnapped him, you can get ahead of this. Maybe come clean to him, allow him to approach his real parents. Maybe if you have a good relationship, you can, I don't know if you can have the same relationship, but maybe you can kind of keep it somewhat intact by coming clean to him and saying, this is what I did. I'm not proud of it, but it's going to probably, like you said, it's probably going to come out.
Yeah, I really do think it will.
Yeah.
But that's it for our episode on Kevin Verville Jr. We got a voicemail. You want to check that out?
Let's hear it.
Hello, Mike and Giddy. This is Clancy calling from Belfast, South Dakota. At this rate, long-time listener and max amount listener. We are deep into hay season up here in South Dakota, and I'm spending anywhere from 12 to 17 hours a day in the tractor. So I'm absolutely chewing through your guys' podcast, hence why I'm so far back in the archives because it's hard to find ones that I haven't listened to yet. But I was listening to the Michael Wayne Jackson case, and I was laughing because you guys were talking about the red Isuzu truck that he got away in, and you guys were asking if Isuzu was still made. And I'm originally from Australia, and I wanted to let you know that Isuzu is an incredibly popular car brand in Australia still. They make a ton of cars, a ton of half-ton pickups. So there you go. The market just swapped over to Australia. But you guys make hours and hours in the tractor very bearable, and I appreciate you. I do a trip or 2 trips a year down and back from Arizona to South Dakota for my work in the summer. And despite my boyfriend wondering why on earth I listen to true crime while I'm, a girl by myself driving, 1,200 miles through the night, you guys really help keep me entertained on my long drives and my long days at work. So thank you guys for everything you do. I love the show. Stay safe and keep your own time ticking. And I'm going to get back to picking up these dang bales. Thanks, guys.
I couldn't remember that case at first, but then when she said Isuzu, I knew. I remember we were talking about that.
Well, it was so funny because like in the 80s, because we were talking about the 80s in this episode.
Yeah.
You couldn't really watch a commercial without seeing a commercial. I remember the guy who did the commercials.
Oh, yeah.
For them. And the commercials were everywhere. Yeah. And then it's like all of a sudden they just disappeared.
Yeah, they were gone.
They went to Australia.
Now we know.
Now we know. But she thinks my tractor's sexy.
Of course she does.
What are you going to do?
You think your tractor's sexy.
All right, buddy. That is it for another episode of True Crime All the Time Unsolved. So for Mike
and Gibby,
stay safe and keep your own time ticking.